Yo, what's up guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaymin and welcome back to Flower Paradise, and today we have another exciting episode of our Robotics Notes Elite playthrough. If you guys are confused checking out this image, that means you probably haven't watched the last episode, so I'd highly recommend going back and checking that out before you get into this one. It is a linear storyline, so watching these videos in order is probably my best suggestion for you. But if you did miss the last episode, I'd highly recommend going back and checking that out. Also, check out the playlist tab on the channel. You guys can see a bunch of stuff that we've played through. Pokemon, football, visual novels, all sorts of cool, fun stuff that you guys can enjoy. Anime-related, football-related, whatever. Lots of cool stuff on there for you. So without further ado, we're just going to jump into it and see what Gaijine has to say about this situation. Okay, so this is their 2,924th test.
日本標準時、西暦2019年7月19日19時17分現在。状況には変化ありません。以上、実証実験経過ナンバー2924をお伝えしました。
So, Airi can turn into Gaijine on her own. I guess that's a dumb question.
お兄ちゃん
She found me. Before I know it, the icon on her head is gone.
明日のお天気聞きたいですか？明日7月20日の鹿児島県種子島屋久島地方のお天気は北西の風晴れでしょう。太平洋上に台風4号と台風5号が発生していますので今後警戒が必要です。
Thanks for the useless info.
T ガ音出してたの？なんだっけ？エギシステム？
はい、そうです。1日1回必ずやります。
So it's been 2,924 days since she first started doing it. That's interesting. I bet you that leads back to about around the time when she was created, right? More than likely. It doesn't seem like to be causing any harm, so I'm not too concerned about it. It is creepy though. Determining the value of continuing some dead guy's experiment isn't my place. It's Teo Development's problem now. Someone like me who just lives nearby isn't going to change anything. I sigh and look out towards the ocean. It's too dark to see anything, but I know Tanegashima Space Center, TNSC, rocket launch pad is there. On a clear day, you can see a giant VAB and large-scale rocket launch site from here. When they still launched rockets, all the aircraft warning lights would shine and you'd spot the launch site at
お兄
night.
ちゃんは何を見ていましたか？
え？
9年前からいつだってお兄ちゃんのことを愛梨は見てきました。
9年前からってずっと？
はい。お兄ちゃんがこの公園に来た時はほぼ。
それ監視じゃないか。
お兄ちゃんが来た時に見てただけですよ。お兄ちゃんはここによく来ていました。平均すると2日に一度のペースです。3人の時もあったし、2人の時もあったし、1人の時もありましたね。最近はポケコンでゲームばかりやっていますけど、2年くらい前まではずっと何かを見ていました。夕方でも夜でも。お兄ちゃんは何を見ていましたか？
ゴー！ホットドッグ！ゴー！
It was always the same
俺
thing.
さ、宇宙飛行士になりたかったんだよね。
That makes sense. I really liked space a lot when I was a kid too. It's just such a fascinating thing. I mean, I still like space, but it's kind of different. I think when you're a kid, you feel like there's so many possibilities. You're like, oh, I like space, therefore I want to be an astronaut, because that's like the number one thing that has to deal with space. I mean, no kid who's like, 7, 8 years old is like, man, I want to be an aerospace engineer when I grow up. You know what I mean? But I think, as time went on, I really wanted to study the planets. That was one of my favorite things. But over time, when you get to 12, 13, you realize not only is that an incredibly difficult field to get into, to just study the planets and the stars and stuff, but even if you did do that, they've already done a bunch of research, so you'd have to find something new to research about. And I'm like, what even new that they haven't researched already that I'd even, do? Not to mention I was bad at math and stuff like that. You just kind of realize over time that it's impossible for you specifically, obviously. And there are some people out there that could totally do it, but for me, I ended up switching over to writing and doing novel stuff, but it was something that I liked a lot when I was a kid.
宇宙飛行士、宇宙へ行く人ですね。
I mean, it would still be cool. I don't think I could do it, but it would still be cool.
でも、種子島宇宙センターから宇宙へ行った人はいません。
ああ、知ってるよ。
Yeah, but you see a rocket launch and you can imagine it, Manned rocket launches barely exist now. Russia and France send folks to the ISS, but NASA focuses on unmanned
まあ
stuff
でも
now.
さ、やっぱ種子島で育った男なら一度は目指すでしょ。
I always watch rocket launches from here. That brings that bright light rising into the sky, the roar that shakes the air itself. It got my heart racing every time. When I thought about how we were connected to a distant space, I felt like anything was
それも
possible.
もう諦めたけどね。
Well, maybe that's the wrong way to describe it. It's just naturally faded into the dark, I guess. I started to have these attacks at a young age, and rockets stopped being launched from here.
最後の打ち上げからだいたい
True.
4年
With those attacks, I mean, it depends, because again, we haven't seen it, but based on what he has said, it is entirely possible that his attacks would create a major problem going into space. Especially if he has difficulty breathing because his mind is not able to breathe at a proper rate because his mind's going so fast. You know how you naturally breathe in and breathe out, right? But if that natural cycle is disrupted because it's going breathe in, breathe out at such a rapid pace, he experiences, what did he say? He experiences 1 second in 30 seconds or something like that. So if it's doing that, imagine you're breathing roughly, how many times a second, but squeeze that into a 30th of a second. You're going to have a really hard time breathing, and then you're going to be in space on top of that. Just, yeah,
意外と
gonna be tough.
その4年っていう時間は長く感じたな。
この4年、お兄ちゃんはこの公園に必ず一人で来ています。ア
That's
キホ
true.
が一緒の時もありましたが、その確率はとても低くて 1% に満たなかったです。
いつからか俺にとってここは
Where I used to watch launches, where I used to imagine rockets soaring through the air with a
落
smile.
ち着いてゲームをする場所に変わったんだよ。
Yeah. Even when I close my eyes, I can no longer picture that beautiful sight of rockets flying off into the heavens.
お、帰ってきた。
Got anything new on the tweeps? Played about 3 hours, 37 and 4. Had a lot of close losses. Season news is uploaded everywhere. Do you like high school girls that have trashy rooms? I still don't know how to take out the trash. What? I mean, when is a butler with when is a butler with 4 eyes butler gonna knock on my door? Hurry up. Can't control what'll happen. What? Yeah, I mean, you can pay for it, pretty much. Hanging up on her with so many people making her cry, then uploading it to the world because you think it's funny. It's too cruel. Yeah, I mean, I think it's inevitable, yeah, pretty much.
あれ、アキちゃん何やってんの？
Akio is standing in front of my house. For a hot second, I thought I accidentally went to Sinamiya's, but no, this is definitely my house. After club activities, we'd go home together and parted ways before
う
sunset.
ちに用なら入ればいいのに。
There's light shining from the windows. I don't know if Dad's home, but Mom is for sure.
用ってほどじゃなくて、ただカイの部屋明かりついてないなーって思って、ちょっと覗いてみていなかったから帰ろうと思ったの。そしたらちょうど帰ってきたってわけ。
入る？
Hmm.
飯まだなら食べていってもいいよ。 今日のメニューが何かは知らないけど。
本当いいって、そういうつもりで来たんじゃないから。
あ、そう？
While I park my scooter in the garage, Akio silently kicks stones at her feet. Does she want to talk about something? If that was the case, she could have just hit me up on Twipo or given me a
ね
call.
え、ロボ部の解散でも告げに来たわけ。
違うよ。
じゃあ何？ミサ姉がテレビに出てたこと？図星か。
なんでわかるの？書いてうちの心読めたりするのかな？
アキちゃんはわかりやすいからね。
To be fair, I figure that's probably what it would be about. Let's be real.
お姉ちゃん、テレビ出てたね。
ああ。泣いてたよ。
うん、泣いてた。
連絡とか来た？
うん。
Of course not.
アキちゃんからはした？
うん。
そう。
した方がいいかな。
メール送るくらいならいいんじゃない？返事はあんまり期待できないかもしれないけど。
Yeah.
そっか。うん、わかった。送ってみる。
Did she really come all this way just to get my
あのニュ
approval?
ース見ててね。お姉ちゃんがいる場所はとても遠いんだなって。
別世界だよね。
ね
That's a tough one. Akio goes silent again. If she was in her usual high spirits.
お姉ちゃんを泣かしたあの新聞記者絶対に許さないんだから、うちの頑張れるなんちゃらなんちゃらパンチでギッタンギッタンにしてやる。
That was a weird sound. She'd probably say something like that.
うん。それだけ。うち帰るね。
本当にそれだけ言いに来たの？
徒歩2分だし、いいじゃん、来ても。
I guess not. But she still could have just
あ、そう
called.
だ。明日から夏休みだけど、部活はちゃんとやるからね。
明日は土曜日だよ。
ロボ部の夏休みに土日なんてないのだ。朝、じゃあ、おやすみ。
You get him, Aki. Akio lightly waves her hand and walks away. I smile bitterly as you see her
まった
off.
く。アキちゃんは本当にミサ姉が大好きだよね。
まあね
I can only hear Akio's voice coming from further down the dark street. That's fair. You gotta look up to your siblings sometimes, right? Summer break, the last one of my high school life. My precious, valuable summer break. A month and a half long promised paradise. Or that's what it's supposed to be. Instead, I have to come to club. My dreams of playing Kill Ballad to my heart's content sink deep into the ocean. Any new news? Oh my god. I know it's sudden, but I have important news. Today, Mr. Pleiades will be retiring from WoWa 1 and no longer be entering any tournaments. Unfortunately, I'll be pulling out from Worlds as well. To everyone that was supporting me, please forgive my selfish decision, but I can't fight anymore. Robo 1 will keep on moving forward. A new hero will arise, become the warrior who surpasses me. Yeah. Wow. I can work on Gun Build 1 all day. There is nothing better. Kiao woohoo. Wait. Shota tag. Wait. Read hashtag as Shota tag. Fantasized an adult man hugging a Shota. Then I got a bloody nose. What the frick? Why is she so weird? She's funny, but weird. I don't know if I could deal with it in real life, but... Interesting. Rookie in the world of Twipo. Yeah, I'm definitely still a novice, but... Oh my god. It's Subaru.
スバル生きてたんだ。
アキちゃん、いきなり何言ってんの？
He's probably gonna come give his resignation, though it'll be short-lived. Look at his outfit, though.
おはようございます。
His greeting is even colder than usual. He looks bored, sitting on a parasol chair while drinking a can of coffee.
ねえ、ここに来ても大丈夫なの？あ、そうか。お父さんと和解できたんだね。とことん話し合って活動を許してもらったとか。
僕の父親はそんな生ぬるい人間じゃありませんよ。許してもらえるはず。
じゃあ
父さんからは きつく怒られました。二度とだからここに来ているのは内緒です。
Wow, he's really rebellious. He's getting out there.
また親父さんがここに来たらどうするのさ。
問題ないですよ。
Subaru sadly hides his gaze.
僕がここに来ているのは一人で静かに勉強するためということになっていますから。
A closer inspection of the table next to him reveals a stack of textbooks and
そ
notebooks.
の言い訳はさすがに通用しないでしょ
大丈夫ですよ。
う。根拠は？
M45 は父さんの目の前で解体しました。ホビーロボの趣味は完全に封印することを証明する意味でね。
That's just, I don't know, man. His dad,
ですからロボワン世界大会への出場もキャンセルです。ヤシオ先輩には申し訳ありませんが。
いや、ミスターヒアデスにならなくて済むんだから俺としては助かるけどね。
スバル M45 を解体したなんて
that's probably
辛
true.
かったでしょ。
Akio looks like she's about to cry. She slowly walks over to Subaru and gently grasps his hand.
いや部長。
うちにはわかるよ。M45 はスバルにとっては分身でパートナーだもん。そんなあの子を自分の手でばらさなくちゃいけないなんて
Pretty
悲
tough,
しいよ。
for sure.
というわけでスバル、
It's like if your parents didn't approve of you playing video games, right? And you had to like take a screwdriver and like legitimately disassemble your like Xbox right in front of your parents. That would be freaking hard. Like he put his heart and soul into that. Can you imagine like on Xbox you put like 3, 4, 5, 600 hours or more into like multiple games that you've played throughout your time, and then you just have to dismantle it and like break the SD card and like completely disassemble the thing from scratch. Like that would just be so rough. It's kind of a similar situation.
は？
ほら、あの夕日に向かって。
Akio pulls Subaru by the hand and forces him to stand, then points at the sky beyond the runway. It's still totally blue.
走りませんよ。
アキちゃん走ったら発作出るでしょ。
She always has to sit and watch others during PE. Akio pouts her lips and releases Subaru's hand.
でもあの時 M45 をかばおうとしてくれて。
That's true. When they did the thing a few episodes ago where they're like, how fast can you run? She's not even supposed to run because she gets attacks. Can he run though? He said he had a pretty, like, he had a slower time, but I mean it was still a time way like a solid 6 seconds faster than Akiho's. Is it like, can he still participate in PE? Is his not as bad? Like, again, it just makes it seem more like a plot convenience tool than an actual attack. While Akiho's seems like more of an actual attack based on how they've written it. Hers doesn't seem like it's useful at all. While his is just like, he has these attacks while he's playing games or like using fighting robots in the championship, and you're like, is this even that bad of a thing? Like, I mean, it's sure, it expresses this pain, but that's about it.
ありがとうございました。
ございました。
こじゃ。
おお、まさかスバルがこんなに素直になるなんて。
Aww.
カイ、スバルが心を開いたよ。
いや、
He
俺に
kinda
報
did.
告しなくていいから。
別に心を開いてなんていませんよ。僕はただロボワンに出ることもできなくなって暇になったので、ここで
He
勉強する
secretly
つい
likes
で
it.
に
He secretly likes it.
頑張れる健三を少しくらいなら手伝ってもいいかと思っただけです。
それ本当？
He's gonna help. I never expected to hear those words come out of Subaru, quite frankly. I guess having his dreams denied by his dad was a pretty big
せっか
shock.
く部員増えたのにみんなガンツクワンのこと無視してるんじゃないかって焦ってたけど、時は来た。これで勝利は間違いなし。
And so Akio's dream moves forward. All's well that ends well. If Subaru is going to help with building the robot, I can finally give my mind and body to Kill Ballad. Talk about good news to kick off summer break, am I right? I mean, that is a thing, I guess. Fujita. Whenever one is in the flood of sound, one's body naturally gets into a rhythm. For me, the rhythm of rock best matches my body's rhythm. That's why I always have some playing loudly in my store. At my age, I started to think that it wouldn't be so bad to die surrounded by this sound. I grinned to myself. I sensed someone's presence and looked towards the door. 2 high school students have come in. The girl is a regular, but the boy with her isn't her usual escort. I've never seen him before. The girl is shouting something at me and seems to be gesturing her hands towards the volume. I have no choice, so I turn the dial on the stereo amp.
絶対耳おかしくなってるよ、ドク。
ツケを踏み倒すようなクソガキに言われる筋合いはねえよ。
I put the parts bill on her tab, but she hasn't shown her face in over 20 days. The Robot Club is a regular customer, but I never thought the current president would be a brat who trampled on my kindness. I heard she's Misaki's younger sister, but she's completely different, though I suppose they are kind of alike in a way. In response to my words, Akios and Omiya, I just lump them all together and call them the Robot Club, boldly laughs. She then slams some money on the table of the counter with as much strength as all she's got, causing bills to scatter everywhere.
まとめてお返しします。
何の真似だ。
The girl rushes over to gather all the money, that got strewn all over the counter, then offers it to me while bowing down.
お納めください。
These kids these days this cheeky, or do they just lack common sense? Whatever, a customer is a customer. I accept their money and begin checking the amount.
確かに。普通なら利子を取るところだが、今回は特別だ。
ドク、遅くなって本当にごめんなさい。
どうせ学校に借金のことを言わなかったんだろう。だからめんどくせえことになる。
だって学校のお金じゃなくて、うちの個人的な借金だったから。学校に言ってもどうせ出してくれないだろうし。
賞金ならそっちの兄ちゃんがたっぷり持ってんだろうが。ミスタープレアデスだろう。お前
なぜわかったんです？
あの程度の変装なら誰だってわかるに決まってんじゃねえか。
See? That's what I'm
寝
saying.
ぼけてん。
誰だってそんなバカな。
うち普通にわからなかったけどな。ミチや教頭先生も言われるまで気づいてなかったみたいだし。
それはよっぽど人の顔を見てねえか。てめえらの目が節穴なんだよ。
Probably both, to be fair.
節穴。じゃあカイの目は節穴じゃない。
そんなことよりプレアデスの正体を知ってどうするつもりですか？
こっちはプロだ。客の情報を漏らしたりするかよ。
What is he gonna get out of it? Come on, nothing.
用が済んだなら帰んな。
I have no intention of continuing this scatterbrained conversation. Time to turn my beats
待
back
って
up.
ドク、待
なんだまだあんのか。
った。もちろんあるよ。そのために来たんだから。
For once, Robot Club is shooting straight at me instead of dancing around the order she wants to make. She's probably getting carried away because she's got some cash.
パーツを買いに来ました。
Right on the
ホ
mark.
ビーロボのパーツか。
違うよ。
However,
ガンツクワンのパーツ。
there's a surprising dazzle in her eyes. It's like that summer 9 years ago when her older sister first visited this unstylish, oily store of mine. Right now, thanks to the worldwide robot boom, there are a lot more girls who have an interest in hobby robots. But back then, hobby robots themselves were a minor thing. Only a small number of enthusiasts even knew they existed. Naturally, visitors to the Robot Club were people interested in crafts and machines, plus otaku with money to burn. Yet in the midst of all of it, that young lady appeared before me.
こんにちは。
To be perfectly honest, I never imagined that a girl around the age of my granddaughter would visit my store.
お嬢ちゃん、店を間違えてるぜ。
あなたがロボドクターですか？中央種子島高校ロボット研究同好会の瀬宮美咲と言います。
Without at all reacting to my words, the girl calmly introduced
ロボ
herself.
ット研究同好会？
今日できました。
その制服、中央種子島高校だろう。確か今日が入学式じゃなかったか？
今日入学して今日作ったんです。
誰がだ？
私が。
はっ、バカ言っちゃいけねえ。ここは素人の来るところじゃねえぞ。
入学式が終わってからまっすぐここに来たの。そうしようってもうずっと前から決めていたから。
その同好会、何人所属してんだ？
一人です。
お前さんだけか。じゃあやめとけ。いい笑い物になるだけだ。
そんなことは別にいいんです。それよりロボドクターのあなたに見てほしいものが。
She then opens up a simple, single-page blueprint.
ホビーロボか。
違います。
じゃあなんだ？
実物大の巨大ロボットを作りたくて。
帰んな。二度と来んな。大人をバカにするもんじゃねえぞ。コムスレ。
至って真面目に話していますよ。ロボドクター、あなたの腕前についてはネットで調べさせてもらいます。相沢二郎博士最後の弟子、藤田哲治さん。
よく調べたな。別に隠すほどのもんでもねえが。
あなたの助言が欲しいんです。このロボを
Makes sense.
実際に作って動かすには何が必要で何が必要じゃないのか教えてください。
帰れと言ってんだ。
いいえ、帰りません。
お前さんに教えることなど何も。
だったら
Misaki leans across the
賭
counter.
けをしませんか？
賭け？
ロボット研究同好会は今年中にロボワンで優勝します。それを実現できたらあなたの技術と知識をロボ犬にください。
Even at 15, there wasn't a timid bone in her. She was willing to wager with me, a person everyone called eccentric. In my long years of living, Misaki was the only girl I had ever met who was that damn bold. At the time, as she stared at me, there was a radiant illusion of dazzling light in her eyes. To that end, I have a similar expectations of Akio as someone who, with that same brilliant look in her eyes.
試作1号機を完成させるための努力は不毛としか言いようがないですね。
何よ、また設計部分に口出しするの？
For some reason, the kids have started
でも
arguing.
残念でした。また全部却下しちゃうもんね。
そもそもあれがかっこいいとでも思っているんですか？
かっこよくないのはうちだって分かってるよ。でもあれじゃなきゃダメなの。
Maybe I'm giving her too much
うるせ
credit.
え。
I shout loudly, causing the pair to close their
くだら
mouths.
ねえ雑談はよそでやんな。それでどんなパーツが欲しいんだ？
Get straight to the point.
そうこなくっちゃ。
And even then, as the man who lost the wager so many years ago, I'm in this for the long term. Until the day I die, the robot club is no more, or until the giant robot of hers is completed. I'm in this until the end. Makes sense. Well, that sounds like a good place to stop this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy a little bit of backstory, and we'll see you all in the next episode.